Oh, yeah. Okay. Share link. Hello. Wow. I think I have quite a number of times. No. Being a long time. Never do Facebook Live. So how are you guys? How are you all doing? I think it's only me was here. I'm not sure this is a good time for a Facebook Live or not. So, guys, how are you all doing? I think it's only me was here. Let me do something first. Time for a Facebook Live or not. Hi. So welcome. I saw somebody giving me like, yeah. I don't know who you are. Say hello to me. So it's really been a long time. I never do Facebook Live. I was actually busy with the crisis group. There was a lot of things with the crisis group. So I cut my Facebook Live and I didn't do Facebook Live anymore. So for those who don't know who I am, maybe some of you guys will share this. So just introductions of me. So my name is Senor. I have two names. So I practice metaphysics and Chinese metaphysics, of course. And most of the time, I only do classes. Very hard to do consulting. Yeah. So I like to share stuff. That's why in a lot of times, I just sharing things out of nothing. So you guys have any questions, you guys can actually put in. I like people to put in questions so that I can expand whatever you want to ask and it become more interesting. Really, I just share your stuff. But of course, if you want to have a little bit of achievement forecasting, that is also okay. I don't really mind that. Yeah. But in the end, of course, we are going into some sharing today about your wealth stars. Yeah. So this is related to Bazi. I'm sorry because I quite a number of times I never do Facebook Live. Yeah. So a little bit, I don't know what to do in this moment of time. I think it's been quite a time that I actually share something to metaphysics in Facebook. Okay. So this is all about anybody is talking about. Hi Sabrina. Any questions? Anything you want to ask? Yeah, I'm okay with anything. You guys can just ask anything because I don't really care much about that. So if I have a question, if I have the answer for you, I just reply you. Free and easy, yeah. So don't think too much about it. Okay. Now, so there's a technical issue just now. I cannot find my own name. That's the thing, yeah. So I'm going to share about a wealth stars. I'm not going to share this in a normal way. I'm going to share this in a more advanced way to look into Bazi. I hope everybody know about these things. Yeah, I hope everybody know about these things. Yeah. I just hope, or should I give an introduction to that? I think it's better that I give introductions, right? Everybody. Yeah. So just for me to look into live chat, it's good. So a little bit of introductions here. It's going to be sophisticated using this kind of method. Highly related to basic core. I'm not going to give you any details, but I want you guys to imagine stuff. Okay, imagine the element. A lot of times when we learn Bazi and everything, most of the time we think about it's just the informations and attribute and elements that was given. by the metaphysics itself. So, but when you further deep dive, they all have their own basic cause, which each related back to the element itself without any labeling that you give to it. Okay, without any element that lead into that. Yeah. So somebody is asking about personal grandeur located on main door. Any issues? Big issues. Actually, big issues, yeah. But depends on how you want to use it and who is the person is. If your children was there, if there's a children grandeur, then it will be very, very hard to utilize it. It will cause a lot of problem, stress and stuff to your children, because the dominant energies keep on coming in from the front main doors. So it's not a very good thing, especially on the years that it comes along. So it's not the years that come along means that your grandeur is like this year is rabbit year, and then your grandeur are more coming from the rabbit, then there's a problem that you actually will see. Okay, so grandeur means a suppressions, a nobleman's suppressions or the king's suppressions, or you were supposed to be the king itself. I'm not trying to give you a details of this, but I give you a basic of this. When a grandeur is coming in that way, it means there's a king that's going to suppress the person itself. So there will be a bullying happening in some sense. You want to look at it. It means there's a higher force that is forcing the children. So it can come in many ways. So if you learn from me, I will tell you in fourth realm. So sometimes is the belief, certain belief become the king that suppress the person thinking. So this one is a very bad thing for children. It's not a good thing for children, yeah. But for adults, you can utilize this energy. You become the king itself. So if you're somebody very aggressive, your grandeur was there, that's mean it's good for you. Okay, I'm just giving you ideas. Yeah, a lot of times it's not in that way. If you have problem if your grandeur was actually in the front door, so be very, very careful with it. Yeah. Now, back into this today's sharing. So I was going to share about wealth stars. I'm going to deep dive into the element itself, and I'm going to tell you a lot of different theory combination that related to the element itself. So it will be more good in that sense, so that you can understand that why is it that your wealth is not up to par with what is it is happening. Okay, so a lot of times, all these wealth things, everybody's so concerned about wealth, right? So they have their own attributes, their own usage. Yeah, so by what I mean is, I'm going to tell you the focus of the star itself. So let me do something first, yeah, because I have certain things that I need to put in first. Okay, my pen is not working, so let me go into my pen first. So long I never do Facebook, so a little bit glabber here. Yeah, so in a wealth, we only focus on indirect wealth and direct wealth. So you look into your chart, where does it come from? Okay, not where does it come from, what 10 stems are there? Okay, what is it the 10 stems are there? Huh? So when you have a 10 stem related to any of the element, then this is your wealth stars. So let me explain a little bit to you guys what is direct wealth and what is indirect wealth. Direct wealth is to manage money. Okay. Okay, Sabrina, see you. Direct wealth is to manage wealth. Okay, this is direct wealth. So managing wealth indicates what? Cost cutting, controlling money, looking into the money in a very disciplined perspective, seeing money as something very important and need to be calculative as much as possible. Yeah, so direct wealth actually indicates You have to work for money. So you're looking at money and try to transform or try to manage it. But if you talk about indirect wealth, is to amplify the money. So most likely amplify means use money to find money. That's what it means for indirect wealth. So what does it mean if you don't have this element in your chart? Because some of the people doesn't have this kind of element in the chart, right? So if you don't have this kind of element in the chart, then you have to use other perspective to find money. So there's 10 gods. Yeah. So today I'm just going to talk about this too. Maybe I cannot finish the 10 step. Maybe cannot finish in a 1 hour time. I will not be able to finish the 10 step. This is like totally like class sharing. Yeah. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about this in different perspective. So every 10 gods, everything in the 10 gods can make money. Okay? Everything in the 10 gods basically can mix money. It doesn't mean that you have wealth or indirect wealth or direct wealth in the chart, then only you can be rich. Yeah? In this current world, anything can become money. So is where is it the value that you put in? I don't want to tell you that if you don't have that, then you cannot make money. Yeah? So it will be like totally, you will not accept that. Yeah. So of course, when you fall into this category, then we have to know that what value that you are putting in. Yeah. Before we talk about the 10 step and every stuff. Yeah. You have to go through that stage first. Okay. The transformations of money is very important to you. A lot of times we thought that whatever in the past was actually fixated to all of us, basically is not really in that sense. Okay, it's not in that sense. Your chart gives you the abilities to do something. The abilities you have, the skill set you have, the mindset you have, the belief that you have, turns into money. Okay, can turns into money. Is it using on the money perspective or not? Then it's what you think of it lah. Okay, because I'm not going to tell you about your life stories. I'm not going to tell you about what you can do or what you cannot do. Okay, but remember, anything skill set, anything your belief is, anything your hobbies around in the current world can turn into money. So are you good in doing that or not? That's the problem. Okay, now, so because of this 10 gods and then the 10 step, then when we focus on the 10 step, we are actually focusing on the ability of all these 10 steps. So we will look into combination and also their personal useful god. So some of you maybe don't know what is personal useful god. This means that each of this element have its own useful god. They need to survive by something, in something, or using something. Yeah, so combinations is part of it. Their own useful god is also part of it. So I can totally tell you that I cannot finish this. Okay, so direct wealth is managing money. Indirect wealth is to amplify money. So let's combine them to become wealth element. Yeah, as a wealth element. And then let's talk about what they can actually do according to their step. So in Bazi, in a more advanced way, you need to look at their own attributes, their own combination. Yeah, their own combinations, what they are good with. How can we make them prosperous? Are there stagnations or not? So if you're looking into this as an abilities, okay, as an ability of the 10 step itself, yeah, then you will know that, okay, all this have totally different attributes. So let me give you just a brief way to look at it. Yeah. So we have yang and yin. Okay. Some of them contribute a big portion of it, do big things. Some of them only do small things. This is the first step to understand the 10 step. And then we have to pictorial form them, means that we have to picture them as an element in the real world. yeah, as an element in the real world. And because of that, how they actually can grow money, how they actually can get money. Where does the money come from? Yeah. So based on the 10 cent result, this is too in-depth into the wealth stars. By looking into that, you will then slowly realize maybe your making money patterns or your managing money is around the wrong side of it. Of course, we will go even deeper where there is, if you know about the favorable element or unfavorable element, it will make you easy to do and makes you hard to do it. Yeah, that one is even deeper. So we're not going to that side. That one is too deep. So we're just going to deep dive into the element by itself. So I'm not going to give you any attributes or labeling to them, but I want you guys to imagine how this 10 stem actually related to that. Okay, so Jagwood, of course, this is a tree. And then this is a vines or twines, whatever you want to call that. And then this is a sun. And then this is a candlelight fire or stars. You want to call that. Yeah. This is a very big mountain. And then this is a soil. Then this is a very big chunk of metal. This is a small fine metal. We call it scissors or jewelry, whatever you call that. This is sea. This is rainwater or droplet or mist that you want to call that. So all of this will then represent a wealth stars. Yeah, they will represent a wealth star. So when they represent wealth star, it means that in your chart, they were meant to only do one thing. Okay, how that a tree can make more money. So as a tree, we'll talk about growth. Your money comes from growing it. See how they grow. Where does it that you put the money in? And how does it actually can grow? It's like you're planting a tree. Yeah, you're planting a tree, you're managing the tree. How much that you can manage it, how much that you can actually amplify the tree, then the money can come. Yeah, because when you deep dive into the 10 stem, they all have ability in their own. We just look into wealth stars. It's just too simple. So when you look into the tree itself, then it's something that you need to grow by itself. It's totally not related how that you do. Another way you can call this investment. Another way you can call this, you're putting money into something that allow it to grow. It's actually related to Jagwood. Okay, it's actually related to Jagwood. So when you go into Yitwood, it's totally different ideas in making money or controlling money. It's about how things connected with each other. Because Yitwood is about networking, is about, spreading all over. How does it spread over? Find new places that connect the dots that the money is actually can come. Yeah. And because of all these connections, right, most likely related to people, related to something that you own that can connect both of the people that can actually generate wealth. So when I say something that you can own, it would also related to arts. Okay, related to arts. So, but for you guys, maybe it's very hard to relate to use it in the arts, right? So there's only one thing is to grow your money. It's actually coming from others people's ideas or your own ideas that connect people. Yeah, a lot of times you just think, well, make money just because of the wealth star, right? Wealth star just represent one thing in our chart. It means hardworking and finance. How that you can see it, right? So to understand your own wealth, if you are Yitwood, it's totally different. What is the numbers doing? Not by you yourself will learn it, but actually by other people. Yeah, so the more that you connect with others, then you will know how to get your money, and you get opportunity of money coming from that side too. Now, it also depends how strong the wealth star is it inside your chart. How strong, how many of it. Yeah, the more of it, the more importance that you will look into money. Sometimes too important, it will become negative. Okay, yeah. And then of course, when you go for paying fire, this one is totally like a routine side of it. Okay, a routine side, money comes, you know there is a source of money that can repeatedly come. Yeah, and then you do something with it. Yeah, so most likely if you have paying fire, is about something that having a routine, having a flow or a system. So when you want to grow your money, there's always something that you actually build up according to a system way. Okay, your wealth stars, this represent your wealth star. So you have paying fire, you have that. Paying fire is a little bit of different. Now, paying fire as a wealth stars have to look into, is it prosperous or not prosperous? Yeah, because paying fire as a wealth stars is easily burn off everything. Basically, it's very easy to burn off everything. So when you have wealth star related to paying fire, you need to know where is it the fire can continues to burn. You cannot just burn everything. So when you have paying fire as a wealth stars, a lot of times the way that you think about money, you put all the things or all the money in just one particular place, then the money will actually burn off by its own in one sense. Yeah, and it's easier to extinguish. So when managing your wealth or amplifying your wealth or using your wealth to find more money, you need to know where is it that the money can continuously to grow, to burn, slowly burn, not one shot you burn everything. Yeah, a lot of times we just think wealth star is wealth star, yeah? But when related to the stem, they have their own attribute. So if you don't know about that, if you don't realize yourself, no matter how many wealth stars you have, you cannot do that. Yeah, no matter what, how many wealth stars you have, you cannot do that. So that's why you go to the stem itself, the attribute zone. It will tells you what is it, the flow of this. The wealth stars, it represents hardworking. It also represents an actions that you do. When we talk about 10 gods, it's an actions that you do. Are you good in doing it or are you bad in doing it? It's the 10 gods. Yeah, so these are actions. So that's why you need to know how does it function. Not just knowing that, okay, this is a wealth star, I have a lot of them, but I do all the wrong things. So your money also gone. You are not doing the actual way. Yeah. So later I tell you another step of this. Yeah. So we just understand in this part first. So Wu Earth, this is a very good wealth star. A lot of time having Wu Earth as wealth star is something that we actually like it, because this wealth star represent a very stability type, a more trust type. Okay, so to manage your money, to gain your money, actually you have to have a very good stability or security type of money management skill or money management actions. Where to put the money and where to find the money. Anything risky for you, even that your chart have earth stars as a wealth stars. A lot of times when it clashes, it's too weak in the chart. You don't know how to do this. And you take risks a lot. Okay, when you take risks a lot, your wealth stars, this Wu Earth, totally useless for you. Then again, you lose money again. Yeah, because that stem tell you the secret behind of it. And when you go and take a lot of risks, basically counter the Wu Earth. Yeah, later I tell you why. What is it that makes them being killed off? Okay, then because the stem itself have all these combinations and clashes. And by understanding that, you know why is it that your wealth cannot accumulate. Why is it you are doing the wrong thing? Okay, so when you go to G-Earth, this one is more into nurturing. Yeah, because their attributes, nurturing is about nurturing a plant. You're doing plantations on the soils, on the farms. You have to really keep on repeating planting it. So if you have G-Earth, you're going to keep on doing different type of investment or different type of money making. If you can, you have to keep on repeating the process. So when there's already have an income or some things that you earn, you have to put it aside and redo the whole process. GF actually indicates that. So when you go to nurturing, your money need to have abundance of ways. Yeah, learn a lot of things, how to make them understand where is it that this money should put in, what kind of nurturing you want to put in a farm, how does it grow by it, and this is a timing for that. So GF actually indicates that side of it. Okay, you go for GF, you need to know the soil was meant to be do plantation. Yeah, and your earth, you're going to control it, you need to know how that this have the return in the shortest term possible and keep on repeating doing it. Okay, so this is a well star. Gung metal for well star is very easy. Just chop. Find the right location, just chop it. Find the right place to just chop down the wealth that you wanted. Okay, so that you can actually go and do that kind of things. Because gung metal, there's a straightforward one line, yeah, one lining things and everything can actually perform in that sense. Yeah, so gung metal doesn't really have any ideas to amplify the money. Of course, it's about actions. Keep on finding a right locations, keep on grinding that particular part of it. When you know there is one part that makes money, that is the only focus to go for it. Yeah, because gung metal is about the X, and you want to X to find money. It's related to well star or amplify the money. You need to find the right locations so that your X can really do it works. Okay, most of the time we just ignore it. Yeah, we are not doing in that path. Yeah, by telling you guys this, you can actually understand in 10 gods, everything is different. So there's 100 types of differentiations of what kind of attribute they can do. According to your learning styles, your execution styles, your creation styles, everything is different because of the 10 step. Okay, in zinc metal, this one most likely is to leverage other people's money. Leveraging how other people is earning money, leverage on other people's wealth. Yeah, and of course, because it's related to jewelry, it's related to precisions. So most likely you will be able to notify something very valuable. Yeah, and because something very valuable, and you know that this will actually exert all the possibility to earn money. Yeah, then you go for it. Yeah, everybody of us different based on our direct wealth and indirect wealth stars. Totally different. So when it comes to you're doing another part of it, you're not doing this part, that means you are not aligned with your chart. You might earn some money, but it's not the actual way of your wealth can accumulate. Okay, when you go for rainwater, this one is the one, I think this is also part of the Wu Earth. Yeah, everybody like this to become the money-making machine, because rainwater is a seawater, it's relentless. It's keep on finding new way to find money. Yeah, keep on finding new perspective in finding money. So if you have rainwater of wealth stars and you're just focusing in one part of it to earn money, something is wrong. Okay, you might need to have a diversifications of investment. Okay, you might want to have different type of money-making machine, because rainwater is growing everywhere in the world. Yeah? So you might go into a lot of different businesses. Just based on this rainwater, you will actually need to do that. So you cannot just have one type of it. You need to go and find different type of it. Yeah. Gui water, this one is a little bit tricky because most likely this one related to intuition. It's very tricky for Gui water to for money making, for accumulating wealth. Yeah. So Gui water type is always about what you feel right. When you feel right with the money itself. Is it a good way? Is it right now that money, that job is good or not? Need to base on how much that you feel, your gut feeling and intuitions. Yeah, when it feels right, the money will become good. If it feels wrong, please, it's not for you. So this is a time for you to actually understand your wealth stars in a whole different perspective of this, so that you can actually know why is it they are good in that way. And if you're not doing that, that means something is wrong, yeah? If you're not doing that, then something is wrong. Okay? You're supposed to understand your stamp. Is it direct wealth or indirect wealth? Look into it. Which one is more good? Which one is not good? Yeah? Now, do you guys want to know how to know is it a good wealth stars, or how to know is it not a good wealth stars? Number one for me. At least we have some interactions, yeah? At least we have some interactions. Rather than I just talk and then we don't have any interactions, then there's no point. Nobody want to know? Okay, then we can end this Facebook Live. No, yeah. I don't see anybody typing anything. Come on. A lot of times we learn, just learn parts. We only look into the perspective and labeling that other people give to us. To know that your wealth star is prosperous or not, to select the one that is good or not, depends. Is it anything that is producing in, and does it produce out? This is a very important thing that people don't really look into Bazi chart. We just look into the chart and we are trying to figure out that, okay, this is my wealth star. My wealth star is a lot, but does it have ability, or is it good, or is it prosperous in the chart or not? Nobody even care about that. Yeah. So when you learn metaphysics or learn Bazi reading, a lot of times is about a painting. This painting have all these 10 stamps inside of it that tells you which one of them are good and which one of them is bad. So good and bad come in a form of what? Strong element. Because when it's strong, you will inside the painting, you look very big and cover the entire painting. So your entire chart, we then just look at it and you know that this is the talent of this person. Because this element is so dominant, so big inside the painting, sure, this is the things that can exert out the most because of this painting. Yeah, in Bazi reading, you're supposed to go there. So, and there's other thing related to this. Strong and dominant doesn't always mean is prosperous. What is the meaning of prosperous? It need to have producing in and producing out. Okay, why is it I'm saying that? If the element doesn't have anything to produce in, that means even though you have wealth stars, you didn't know where is the facts, or didn't understand how does this wealth star can be utilized. You don't have any ideas or any intelligence or wisdom to really think about this, to really use it. So there must be an element to producing in and producing out. So producing out is, once that you have the ideas, then are you able to come out with something or not? So I call it execution. So one is your intelligence part, and then one is it that your executions part. You have the stars, but if the stars cannot exert out, it means that you're only in the process of ideas. So you only have it in your mind, yeah? I want to make money, but I cannot execute it. Then what use is your wealth stars? How dominant is your wealth star? Yeah, that means you cannot do anything with your wealth star. So the wealth star indicates how much that you can manage your money and how much that you can amplify your money. So you just have the ideas of thinking about that, but you cannot get any intelligence or wisdom or knowledge to support this idea. So you cannot see the path of this idea. Yeah? You just have the ideas of money, but you cannot see the path of it. So without producing in, you cannot see. You have no ideas, no intelligence, no strategies to actually execute this. So then you will fall into the part of execution. Yeah, producing in and producing out. You must have this to make it prosperous. So inside the painting, that means that you have one well stars that is very beautiful, but not dominant inside the chart. It doesn't matter. It looks very beautiful. It was prosperous because it's producing in, and then it were able to have its own intentions to execute. Yeah. So what does actually that mean? That's mean your chart, like Yit would, require to have gui water to producing in, and also ting fire to burn. If not, your Yit wood, your well stars, only looks good. Okay, this is an awareness for you, yeah? So what if you are missing of this? We come back to these questions again. What if you are missing of this? Missing any one of this? What does it mean? It means that you have to activate it. Okay, so activations come from where? Maybe your month chart, month pillar, not month chart, like achievement already. Huh? So month pillar, year pillar, or your luck pillar. Yeah, activations means now you have to gain maybe the knowledge, maybe the foresight, yeah, maybe the process, maybe about the strategies that you have to learn about it. What is it producing in? You must learn about it. Yeah, so there's a timing for you to increase your abilities, to increase how that you want to see money. It's become very, very important. Yeah, then after that, if there's a luck pillar that comes in for the output, okay, yeah, then it means that this is the time to do execution, actions taking. Where is it that I want to put this money in? Is it time for me to, work harder on this, find locations for this? Or is it the time for me to really go and do investment? Make the money decisions in this moment of time and take the actions to do that. Is it time for me to buy a properties? Right? Can I learn from these executions? Does it bring back the value to me? So in other terms, it also indicates that if you have output of your well stars, that means that this is a time that you know or train yourself to know where is it that is having value of return. Having a well star is just having a well stars, yeah? Well stars is just a well stars. Okay? And if your well star is not prosperous, like this, then you have to be aware that you have to do this in the right timing. Okay, so this is also related to what? It's related to your annual chart reading for somebody, or you go for FSA, for DJY or Thrive. It will tell you in this year you were supposed to do something. So there's the executions part of it actually. It's part of the executions part. Is it your money? What you need to do is totally related to that, yeah? So that's why your star itself need to prosperous or not prosperous. Now, let me give you a simple example, yeah? I just give you a simple example. Did I put that? Oh, I didn't put that. Never mind, let me plot the chart. A lot of times we have to plot the chart, yeah? Hey, I'm sorry. So also let me tell you something is wrong with that. What happened when your well star is stagnant? Yeah, I think I talked a little bit about this before. So this is a sample chart. Okay. Most of the time we need to identify where is it the well star. So does anybody can see this? Cannot see it. Okay, can see. Yeah. Most of the time you have to identify where is your well star. So this is well stars. This is well stars, right? This is well stars. Okay. Then you need to know what element produce the well stars. Yeah. You guys know why is it that in our chart, so in normal Bazi reading, there's two elements or two types of element that we use to represent wealth. Two types, yeah. One of it is what we call the wealth. And then what is it? We call it the output stars. Okay. So when producing into the wealth is actually the eating god or the hurting officer. Does it have a hurting officer here? Yeah, to produce to the water element. So metal produced to water. Water produced to wood. Okay. Yeah. So when you look into here, first wealth star we always look into is the wealth, indirect wealth or direct wealth. Second wealth star we look into the output stars because this is the creation part. Yeah. So to understand your wealth star is prosperous or not, you will also see wood element is DO. So this is part of what? Execution and also courage. Yeah, all this is actually related to your own singular wealth stars. So in some school, in the current world, you need courage to make money. So there's another way to look at it, huh? Okay, there's another way to look at it. So this is where your wealth star, in this chart, that's mean it can produce in, it can also produce out. So it's good. It's actually good. So this wealth star is a good wealth star. At least the person have ideas to see things, to have a foresight, and then have the courage to execute it. And know that execution it, executed on the right place, give the value returns. Yeah, so this is a very simple way. Now, any questions to this? Do you find whatever you learned before, right? I'm not sure how many of you is beginner here. This is totally not a beginner kind of stuff. This is totally not a beginner kind of sharing. But if you learn about Bazi before, whatever you learn in the basic can now utilize in a more advanced way, which is your targeted approach, the element to use. So learning this does not just indicate the wealth stars. You can also targeted approach to other things related to your life. Okay, related to other things in your life, yeah? So if you want friends, then you look into friends. Why are you bad in making friends? Does it have any ideas that producing in, and does it have any ideas that producing out? This is what I call, is it prosperous or not, the element. So on your chart, it's never just about the wealth stars. Yeah, it's about what you want according to your current circumstances. Okay? Okay, anybody? Nobody's going to put in anything to me. Huh? I saw 33% coming in for first life. Very good. Now, any questions? You get something from me or not? Anything you want to ask? Just now I saw somebody asking something. Yeah? Many were saying they have dragon wood in year pillar. How does it will be affected next year for yin? How does it affect it for you in next year? So in many ways, you have to consider about a lot of things. All the time, when you learn Bazi, there's something that you need to consider, yeah? All the time. So when you learn about the Bazi, your year is for yin. This one represents your health. Do your health have problem or not? right? Represent your mentor. Does your mentor have problem or not? Represent your strangers or clients. Does that part have problem or not? It's not about what you have in the chart. It's about what are you doing right now? What is the alignment that you're doing right now? And the energy will go into that side of it. Yeah? Energy will then go into that side of it. I know this is not the way that other people reading Bazi Chart, but I'm going to tell you in that sense is using this way. So if you have issue with that, then you have to be very careful with that. Yeah, not so good health. When it comes to Fu Yin, then whatever that you're afraid of will surface. Fu Yin chart indicates that whatever you already know, right now, it helps you to enhance it and it further give you the ideas that what is this problem actually is. So for next year, it's better that you really do a proper health check. If health is the issue, then it will tell you something is coming. Very easy one, yeah? I don't want to give you some sophisticated way. So Fu Yin just represent that. What you already know now is surface and it tells you what does it mean. Okay? And it will be even enhance the problem if everything here is your unfavorable element, it becomes even worse. Okay? Yeah, so that's one way to look into your Bazi chart. So I hope this sharing give you guys a perspective about your wealth stars. Now, we just talked about producing in and producing out. How about countering in and countering out? Yeah, when countering in, meaning indicates that really there is problem according to your wealth stars. Most of the times, you need to be aware something that you cannot do with your money. Okay, something you cannot do with your money, it will actually drop your money down. So looking into the wealth stars, there will be an element that is what we call clash or clash in. Yeah. So what is it clashing for water element, which is earth element? Okay. So once that you go into looking into clashing element, then you will know that, okay, Wu Earth is a one clashing. So something related to taking risks, because the opposite side of it for Earth is security. Like just now I'm telling you, yeah. So all of the 10 things that I tell you just now is part of the usage. Yeah. So if your countering in element is higher, yeah, if the countering element is stronger, that means your wealth stars in the chart is not going to be having an easy way to accumulate wealth. Okay, it's not going to be having an easy way to accumulate wealth. Yeah, so that's why you need to know. If you're looking into your chart, most likely because countering the wealth star is your self element. So it also tells you that your spending, whatever you desire, whatever the emotions that you have, will actually makes the money go away. If you understand what I mean, you understand. Yeah, so the chart tells you everything. The chart basically tells you everything. Okay, so most likely whatever you desire, of course, the stamps play a very big role. Yeah, for security reason, you just buy everything. Yeah, you don't take risks, you buy everything, but that's push the money going away. Push the wealth star away. Okay, so your wealth stars, is it behave the way that you want to behave? That's what you need to ask yourself, yeah? And then there's an element that you counter out. Yeah, countering out, water counter fire. Right? So in this chart, this is the fire element. Yeah, there's not a fire, no, there's only one fire element. So you're just telling you, yeah, if the fire element is low, okay, and your wealth element is high, that means you are able to control the wealth, control the whatever that you are putting in. You're chasing something, okay, that can actually makes you more money. Yeah, you're chasing something that actually can make you more money, that you just put a little bit out to find the value of it. Yeah, but when your countering out element is bigger, then you have a tendency of chasing something that it doesn't give you a lot of value of return. Okay, it's chasing something that doesn't give you the value of returns, which means that means you unconsciously use your money to chase for something, to buy something. There's something that you are chasing on. Maybe something that you want to make more money of. If your stars is bigger than the element you're countering out, that means you're able to control whatever the money that you spend to chase for it. But if the element you're countering out is bigger, higher flow of energy, then you're unable to stop yourself to chase. You keep on chasing it. When you have this awareness, that means you need to control yourself. Yeah, remember, always find the things that is good for you. Don't try to do everything. So this will also become like what we call you have too many things, or you have too many things on the plates. You chase for too many things. The money never have chance to return to you. Okay, the money have never had a chance to return to you. Now, if you look into the stars, right, this is something that will make your life easier because of direct resource or indirect resource. So you learn Bazi. When you go advanced like this, you can see a lot of things happening in your chart. Are you able to do that, or are you not able to do that? That's its prosperous element. And what is it that you are chasing on? That is the element that you're countering out. It will actually diminish your wealth. But if your wealth is strong, you always have enough wealth to do something. If your wealth is weak, some more you chase some more of this, something is wrong. Okay, you will lose your money. Yeah, so according to Bazi or the element interactions, when one element is too high up, the other element will go down. Please remember that. Yeah? So your chart is also like that. Your wealth stars is also like that. It's not just about how does it actually looks like, but it's about, yeah, how that the element itself survive in your painting or not. Is it good inside your painting or not? If it's not good inside your painting, that means this element is very hard to survive. Yeah, when the element die, money will lose. As same as any Bazi interactions come to your chart, the annual chart, the luck pillar, when there's certain elements countering your wealth stars coming in, that means your money will lose. This is where we do predictions that your money is going to have a break of wealth in this moment of time. Yeah, I hope you find this interesting. Yeah, just on the wealth part, this is everything about your chart. I just simplify it in that way so that you understand what I'm trying to say. But I know this is too deep. Okay, so whether that you know what is it countering you or not countering you, just use the chart. The chart will tell you actually. So this is your 5 element. Yeah, whatever producing in, producing out, you counter out and then counter in. It's just like that. Okay, so I hope that you can get this. Now, any questions? Anybody have anything to ask? Come. Before I end this, yeah, I'm just planning to do 1 hour, but it's very happy that I can actually do this kind of Facebook Live. Anything, you guys? No? Then I have to say goodbye to everybody. Yeah? Oh, I can reach 40s. Yeah? Very hard actually can reach 40s. So long never actually do Facebook Live. So thank you to everybody. Now, if you guys have anything to ask, you can still put it in the comment sections. I will double check it later on if there's something that you don't understand. Or you can actually go to the Telegram, right? I think everybody know my Telegram. So I don't need to push my Telegram anymore, right? So it's inside my Telegram. So you can come to my Telegram and you can ask me stuff according to this. And then as a word of advice of ending of this, remember whatever you learn, whatever interactions that come from Bazi Chart, it already show in the chart. It's just about how much that you understand the element of his own. What is the targeted approach into that? Yeah. So Nancy was saying, remedy to help well star kill. It's either that you support it or you kill the other star that's killing the well stars. It becomes more interesting. I'm telling you that, right? It's either that you kill the one that is killing the well stars, or you make the well stars become stronger. Okay, you should have replay, so don't worry. The mitigation is just simple as that. So what is the actions you need to take? So let's go back. Huh? So killing the well stars. This is the well stars. This is the element that is going to kill the well stars. Right? This is all the elements going to kill the well stars. Okay? Yeah. So when they're going to kill, it's either that you kill the well star or not. So only using the well star, they can kill all of them. So is it the Jiawood or is it direct officer? You will also find this very funny. To manage your money, you require a system. Okay? Yeah. To manage your money, you require a system. It will require you to know how to take risks. So all these things will let you understand what you should do. Taking risks is like understanding risks. So you are killing the element which is countering your well stars. That's one way. Okay, that's one way. Another way is make sure that this is stronger. Yeah, stronger means you need to use the water elements to producing in, so that it doesn't die. So what happened when the year come in, that earth element becomes stronger? Okay, what happened when the earth element becomes stronger? The countering in. So your money lost also. I just tell you the entire interactions of this, yeah, in a very simple way. So if you get what I mean, that means you can play all the elements inside your chart. A very simplified version of Bazi reading. Okay? Yeah? Does everybody like these kind of things? We can come up with others related stuff, yeah? So Timothy was saying, how about Bazi Chart don't have indirect and direct wealth? Have to find and shift the palace. To make money and to stay rich, DJ would like to say that. Huh? So stay rich is a very hard thing. So this is actually part of staying rich. Do not let your money go haywire. Do not let your money go lost. But to make money, to find wealth, it's not about this. Yeah? To find wealth is actually not about this. To find wealth is about your skill set. So how good are you according to your chart? What is it that you're good in? Yeah? What is it that you're good in? So this is your chart. It's not about the stuff, but it's about your chart. Okay? Totally it's about your chart, yeah? So it's not about how many wealth stars you have, but how aligned or how laser beam that your chart can do. Okay? Yeah, so that's one totally not related to how that you can earn money. This is only talking about wealth, your wealth star, the function of your wealth star. You lost money and everything, it's about this. Okay? So to make money, look into your chart. What is your talents, your top 10 profile, the prosperous element, whatever you can find in your chart, your useful God, all that will make you money. Okay? So maybe next time I talk about that part. Yeah? Next time I talk about that part. So thank you to everyone. This is it, the end of our Facebook Live. Yeah? So I'm going to see you guys maybe next week again. Just maybe. I'm not sure I'm going to continue doing this or not. I just have fun just to do a Facebook Live. So goodbye to everyone and have a great lunch. Yeah? See you guys. Goodbye.